All right, so today is Friday, May 21st, 2020. At least I think that's the date. And just got the bad boy connected there to the tractor. She's running and ready to go. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I haven't really thought it out a ton. The way that my mind usually works is I see these bigger trees, the big ones, those evergreens in the background. I think to myself, make a perimeter and then just work your way in. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. And then I might kind of come on over here and check some of that out behind the dozer as well. Don't want to do a whole lot, just kind of want to get a feel for it. Then I got to get going. It's just a little afternoon. It took me a little while to get everything unloaded with one man. That's kind of an adventure. So anyway, this is before. Bugs aren't too bad right now, but I kind of want to get going before they do decide to change their minds on that. So we'll, it's kind of a before image. We'll look at things a little bit afterwards. Okay, so after probably about 45 minutes, good 45 minutes, this is what I got accomplished on the initial cut here. Coming through here now, obviously not all of this was covered, but a lot of it was. I mean, you can kind of see where it wasn't. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm super impressed. So here's the thing, like even if it leaves little things like that, I can lower the blade, come back, lower the deck and come back through. But that's really not the point. The point is I could walk through here now very easily. What I tried to do is some of these evergreens and some of these birch, I tried to leave as many of those as I could. You know, just some of the bigger ones and spaced out more. At any rate, so yeah, I mean, it just, you can kind of look at it, it just chews it up pretty good. So pretty impressed with that. Pretty impressed. I just kind of came around, made a few passes. Some of this stuff in here was a little thicker, so as far as diameter, and there were a couple rocks in there. So I just kind of left that. I suppose I could have snuck in there, but I left those. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much just clears it out. So that's not too shabby. Now, that's going to take a lot of seat time and a lot of bug spray. And more than anything, what it's going to take, what it's going to require is patience and a good eye for those things right there, those rocks. I did manage to come up on a couple of them. Boy, it scares you pretty bad first time you hit one of those. And ended up denting the deck a little bit, well, quite a bit actually. So unfortunate, but it is what it is, I guess. Just something I'll have to watch for. Something I'll have to be a little more careful for and take my time through. But really, that's not too bad before and after. I do like how, I mean, it does perfect. No issues whatsoever. Gets where I need to go. Put it in low, let the tractor just pull it along, and she's good to go. You can see kind of some of the damage here. See on the back there how that got dented there, and then on the back as well there. So it's kicking those rocks out. They're big rocks, and of course once it's there, kind of like, well, now I'm on it, gotta do something about it, and it just kicks it around. And the 3-point on this isn't super, it's not super strong. So I go to lift, It'll lift it a little bit, but it won't bring it up probably like it's supposed to. So I'll probably have to do a little repair work on that. Of course, nothing's like new when it's the integrity of it's been compromised a little bit there. But overall, I'm very happy with that. And if I can take care of it, and which I plan to, and if I can take my time with things, which I plan to, I'm anticipating a lot of work being done. Probably what I'll end up doing is I may run it again this year, just to run it on a few things in the these warmer months, if I can get an idea of exactly where I am and what rocks are here. But then I might just wait till the fall when the leaves drop, then I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So, all right, that's it. It's about 1 o'clock, a little after that. I gotta get going. All right, so it is September the 6th, 2021. I'm down in the field. This is the road. We had somebody help us out a little bit, and this is the road that was kind of widened out and brought in here. That's fine. It kind of comes straight in. That's kind of our equipment. These are kind of the two infamous trees. And what we're looking at is over here, this is kind of the area that I had cut with a brush hog last year, or earlier this year rather. And a build site was kind of put in, not particularly exactly where I wanted it, but it doesn't look too bad. So we're gonna look in here, and part of the consideration is just the amount of work that it takes to do all of this, right? So this is the build site. And while it may not be where I wanted it, it might be actually a great spot because it's high. It has these trees that kind of provide a little bit of shade, which is what I wanted, especially out in the field. And the sun will kind of, it's in the morning here, so the sun will come up and it'll, the tree, shade from the trees will go that way. It's high enough. I could get the brush hog on the tractor in here and clean up all that brush to some of those taller trees and really have a nice, decent view, I think. So probably what we'll end up doing is bringing the, what do we want to call it? The bunkhouse and the outhouse down here. And then I'll do a little more exploration, but if I end up liking this, then this is where we're going to build, which is not bad. And then I can just keep clearing as we go, and if I find a better spot that I like later on, that's where I'll build the log cabin eventually. So, but that's years down the road. So yeah, here we are, not too bad. And it might actually just be perfect. One of the only considerations to make is how much road noise do we hear while we're here. And that's just a consideration to make. But one thing that can be seen, actually, I'm just now noticing some of this, like through here, that is what I cut with a brush hog earlier this year. I mean, it's already grown up. You can see where it's grown up in there, but all this stuff off to the side, I can cut through all that easily. So I'm thinking I might be able to do that in the spring, come out here and just start going to town with that, get the dozer to push some of this away and maybe build up the road coming in so it's not so, it dips down pretty low. We want to build that up a little bit. So definitely some good potential here that I'm pretty excited about. So I guess we will see. All right, here we are again at the two trees. The road cuts off to the left over here to the potential build site, which I'm liking more and more. The more I think about it, maybe it's just because it's done, but I'm liking it. So the road was then cut this way, which kind of looks pretty decent. It's definitely traversable. We would need a back blade for the tractor, which obviously that's not a problem, or obviously the dozer could do a lot of good work here. This is actually kind of nice, unintentionally, maybe like a turnaround spot here or something like that. But anyway, and that's right off to where the build site would be. So this comes down pretty good. How's everybody doing? Good?
How you doing, Benji?
Good. How you doing, Olive?
It still hurts.
Took a tumble. But we don't quit.
Kirk my shoes and my legs and my skirt.
Oh my word. Kind of a mess. That's good. That means you're doing it right.
Because I went through the woods with Liv and Catherine.
All right. So this is
I'm
pretty
taking
wide.
Violet now.
Okay. Pretty wide.
I'll stay close to the side. Come on, Violet.
Pretty wide road here. Very easily traversable. Could do with a truck once it's dry. It's pretty wet right now, which I don't really know what to do about that. Again, dragging it with the blade. You know, a person could bring in material, but that's a lot of material to bring in to try and build it up. I think part of it would be cutting down all this brush off to the side to allow the sun to hit this and dry it up. I think that's going to be a big part of it. So some of it we can do with the brush hog. Some of it I'll have to do by hand, but like all this stuff here I can do with the brush hog fairly easily. Just taking time to go through it. So kind of head back here to the corner. All the way back here, everything's so far so good. You know, everything's pretty solid all the way back here. So I'm liking that. This is where the original build site was going to be, or at least maybe where we were going to dump the bunkhouse. But the more I think about it, the more I really like the option that we're considering more so. Obviously there it heads out east there. Again, this is an area where I could run the brush hog and will run the brush hog through here to really clean this up. And you can see even on that where the sun is hitting the road, that's really going to be nice to keep it dry. So that's going to be much easier to drive on. And I think it's going to be, yeah, pretty good. So here, through here, they did a good job. Again, I think they were working for about 5 hours maybe. I don't even know if it was that much. But the amount of time that they worked, they did a good job. The issue is where they stopped short, which we'll get to that. But we kind of keep going this way. And this is pretty good. Very traversable, easy, you know, very truckable. Again, once it dries up, it's very truckable. So that's encouraging. Nice wide turns here. That's kind of nice to get through. When you get back to this spot here, what we'll see, this is kind of a wide clearing area. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think this is the spot or the area anyway where I had originally wanted or considered building a cabin. Something like that. And in reality, this is a really nice area too. It's shaded and it's a little low. You can see, I don't know if this bears it out, but it kind of does, where it slopes up. So it comes back down this way. So there's drainage down this way. That'd be way too much to try and fill ourselves. But we have these, I think these are ash trees. These big standing ash trees. Big birch here. Some evergreens. I think that's a yellow birch. No, it could be wrong though. First time for everything. So this is actually a nice little area too. Maybe the bunkhouse can settle in here or something like that. Again, maybe even cleaning it out, some of the brush. So, you know, so far so good. If we were trying to get a road going and bring material in here, oh yeah, here's where it cuts back here. I'm not sure what this is all about. That would actually be a good spot for the bunkhouse. Now that I think about it a little more, because this is up, it's elevated, it's up a little bit higher. Could put the bunkhouse and the outhouse here. Could park the equipment back here. Though the farther away you park it, the farther you got to drive to get it. Yeah, this is where I originally wanted to consider building. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like this too. This is pretty good. Because this is up elevated a little bit. But it's getting through that low spot. Those low spots. That's the challenge, is getting through there. To get to here. When it gets wet in the wetter months, in the spring especially, you know. So, continuing to walk along. The family is making their way. So they kept going. Did a good job. Really made a lot of progress for us, which I liked. Kept on going. Here we are. Here we go. And then it comes to a halt, right? Over this way. And there's a reason why. And it's not a very good reason, in my opinion, especially when I look at the map. So I don't think it's completely valid. I can understand the concern, but I don't think the reasoning is valid. So I'm not for it. So what do we do with this? I don't really know. Because it gets us to right about down here. And it's really rough going in there. Could do that. I did it with the side-by-side. I came down here with the side-by-side. And with the dozer, our dozer, we could really clean it up. So, okay, that's fine. But what do we do about this? I guess I'm not entirely sure. So, we're going to have to take a rethink about it. Give some consideration, some thought to it, and see what we're going to do, because this is kind of what we're left with. Coming through here. Again, a lot of this is fine. It just doesn't get much exposure to the sun, so it stays a little softer. Which, okay, fine. There's a tag here. There's another tag there. And I don't know if we can quite make it out. Yeah, there's a line right there. And that line is really where the trail starts to my dad's property. So what do we do about that? Well, I'm going to walk it today, see how we're feeling about it. And I guess we'll kind of get back to some thoughts here. Have some thoughts, have some theories of what we could do. I don't know, it's the adventure. But all of that this is just, again, more field or parts of the field that's just overgrown with this junk invasive species, and it just keeps the ground wet because it's covering up all the sun, not exposing it very well. So, yeah, we're going to see how it plays out.